Hi Phoenix family, I hope this video reaches you in good spirits. Tonight the topic is coexist. I want to go over what it is and what it is not. However, before we get into coexist, I do have a few big thank yous to give out. Before coming to YouTube and trying to put the pieces together, a few of the family, Phoenix family, has helped me get the items that I needed to make this happen. Right now I don't have the backdrop or the lighting kit set up yet because the entire living room has got to be rearranged and set up, and that video is coming up very soon once that's all done. However, Jennifer is the one that provided me with the computer. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You're an amazing person. Wendy decided to offer the lighting kit. She sent that to me, and I'm absolutely blessed. Thank you, beautiful. And then Melody sent the backdrop with the stand and everything. Absolutely tremendously amazed that the Phoenix family is what's making this happen. So as of right now, what you see behind me, this is the last video that you'll ever see that, and we're going to start getting everything set up. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, Phoenix family, for helping to make this possible so that we can take this knowledge and go broaden our horizon with it and teach it further out there, get it out there. So okay, so we got that, and now let's go ahead and talk about coexist. The first thing is what coexist means. To coexist means to live in a world with people of various religions and not have to deal with persecution, hatred, or religious racism. It's to sit at a table with myself as pagan, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, and Jewish, whatever, sit at the same table, have a dinner without feeling hatred or shit on, for lack of better words, because you have a different religious practice than your brother or sister sitting next to you, okay? That is what it means to coexist. What it does not mean is intertwining the religions, okay? And that seems to be a big one that we are dealing with, especially on the social media outlets and platforms, is that if you start a pagan group such as myself, then you will have Christians join, which they are welcome to join, but it is a pagan group. We teach and learn paganism in my group. That's the whole point of it. So we're not catering to the Christian religion. But if you were raised Christian and you want to learn about paganism, sure, come on in. Okay? It's the same concept as if I were to visit a church. I would not walk into any church whatsoever and tell them or even expect them to cater to me as a pagan. It's not right. That is their place of worship. That is their place of learning. They are learning about their religion. If I am going to go to their church, then I am a visitor. And they are not to cater to my religion inside of their place of worship or place of learning. Just the same as for Muslim, Buddhist, pagan, or otherwise. There are many, many religions out there. When you, as an individual, go to choose to learn about another religion, then you are in that place to learn and be taught. It doesn't mean you have to convert. It doesn't mean you have to change anything about what you believe in. It means that you are in a new place and you are taking in new knowledge, which everybody in the world is absolutely entitled to do. Okay, I bring this topic up, especially on the social media platforms, because, and this is where I'm going to sound like the hater, but I'm not, is the Christians that have come into the pagan groups and demand that we cater to their religion, such as posting their Christian stuff and preaching their Christianity. And I explain to them that it is not tolerated, it is not acceptable, and it's not fair. Because inside of a pagan learning environment, we are learning about paganism. We are learning about the different sections of paganism. And we are not learning Christianity, and we didn't come here to be preached at Christianity. If we wanted that, we would go to fucking church. That's the point. Okay? Now, in fairness, I started to put a lot of this together few years ago, long before I ever started my own group on the social media platforms. Was a lady that I had befriended at work had asked me to come and visit her church. She asked me a couple of times, and then finally I agreed with the understanding that, look, I will come and visit your church one time, and then you come and visit my altar one time. You know, I'll spend a day in your religion, and you spend a day in mine. And this was an awesome agreement. Neither one of us were expecting conversion. Neither one of us were talking about who's right, who's wrong. It's, we're going to take a day to learn about one another. All right, so we go to this church, and it's Pentecostal, very, very lively church. And the pastor's name is Travis. I remember this, even though I only visited the one time, is because he said something that was incredibly awesome. You know, he's up there preaching and whooping and hollering and saying all kinds of stuff, and he's got people dancing around and everything going on. And then, you know, towards the end of his sermon, he says, but I want you to act on what you really feel. Do not act on emotion alone. I'm up here preaching. I'm up here saying this, that, and the other. He says, and you might come up here saying, yeah, you know, and you're going to follow me because that's what you feel is right. He says, and then you go home tonight and you're not feeling it no more because something inside of you wasn't there to begin with. He says, I might have affected you emotionally in that moment, but it wasn't something you want to hold on to. And he got to thinking about that, and I'm like, he's right. Because a lot of people react quickly on emotion, and then when they act on emotion, and I'm totally different example here, but I'm going to just throw it out there anyway. So you got a pack of cigarettes, right? Pack of cigarettes. And you're like, you're hearing all this, and you're hearing all that, and you're like, I quit, I'm not going to smoke no more. And then a couple hours later, you get home, and you're just like, oh, God. Okay, so the thing is you have to quit smoking when you feel it's right. Okay, when you feel it's time, I'm going to put this down and I'm not going to do this anymore. That's because you felt that time was right. And it's the same thing of what he was talking about in your choice of religion, and whether or not you follow him or just, you know, visit and learn from him for that one moment. Don't jump on the train when you're feeling emotional, because you might get home and go, I wasn't ready for that. I'm not ready for that. The one thing that happens to people when they act on emotion is that they go through regret. They don't know what is right. They don't know what is wrong. They don't know how they're going to feel, or you know, how they should feel. And there's a whole lot of confusion. That's why your choice of religion has to be kind of in a way, like I said, to quit smoking. It's learning, taking in knowledge. Go ahead, learn about all the religions. And then what feels right to you in your moment, in your aha moment, where you go, okay, that's the one that you go to. That's the one that you say, this is where I'm at. And you know, who knows? You may learn about all these various religions and be like, cool, I'm atheist, but, you know, at least I know a little bit about this or a little bit about that. Okay? And that's what it comes down to. To coexist is very closely into that, because this person chooses to be Christian. That's what feels right to them. This person is Muslim. That is what feels right to them. This person is pagan. That's what feels right to them. This person is Buddhist. That's what feels right to them. And then so on for the various different religions. Okay, here's the big problem and the reason why I chose to do the coexist video. Because it is a very common practice for everybody in the world to be like, respect my religion. This is my right. I have the right to believe in this. I have the right to believe in that. I want this and I want that. But then the same exact people will go out to the outside world and tell their brothers and sisters of the world, that's wrong. You have to do this. That's wrong. You have to do that. Or because of your religion, you can't do this. Or because of your religion, you shouldn't do that. Or my religion doesn't think that, so you're wrong. But you just said you wanted respect for who you are. You wanted respect for, this is what I believe in. This is what I want to follow. You need to give me my space. You need to respect me for what I want. I have the right to have freedom of religion. Well, the whole thing is, so do they. So knock it off. All right, here's one. Prayer in school. Excuse me. Prayer in school. This has come up a lot in my years, okay? And it's, should we bring prayer back in school? Prayer should be, what is it called? Some people say that it should be required. Some people say it should be an option, but it should be in school no matter what. And here's my thoughts to that. Absolutely allow prayer in school. Why the hell not? If that's what they want, go for it. But when you do that, when you make that move for prayer in school, then you need to allow the Muslim children to practice their worship, or what it is that they do. You need to allow the Buddhist children their practice. You need to allow the pagan children their practice. If you cannot take that time and allow every child that comes from the various religions their time to worship or practice or whatever it is that they do for their religion, then no, you cannot have prayer in school, because it's not fair. It is not right to push a religion in school, but only be one religion. That is exactly how this world came to be what it is because we're all screaming freedom of religion, and you have this one that bullies everybody else. It's not cool, okay? To coexist means that we can live in the same world. We go to the doctor's office, we send our children to school, we go to work, and we're side by side with one another, and we're not hating on each other for the religious practice. You're Muslim, I'm pagan, sure, let's eat lunch together. It doesn't matter about our religious practice. We're two people that like each other's personality. We're going to sit down and share a meal, which is exactly what we should be doing. We are coexisting. I'm not telling her that she's wrong. She's not telling me that I'm wrong, because religion is not for that moment. For that moment, we are sharing lunch. We are just having a time away from work, and we are just having lunch. That is coexisting. Taking your children to the doctor and finding out that, I don't know, maybe the doctor is Jewish. You don't care about the Jewish doctor. You're going there for medical treatment for your child. Their personal religious practice has nothing to do with being inside the office. And I can't stress that enough when it comes to Christian medical practices. When you take your oath to be in the medical profession to provide care for others, you do not get to use your religious beliefs to provide care, because who you are caring for could be a variety of different religions. You are there as a medical professional to provide care and help to the best of your knowledge, not to preach, okay? That actually goes to all religions, but I'm going to be honest with you when I say it's mostly what I've seen in Christianity do, okay? Okay, here's another one real quick before I go. I spoke to a gentleman who recently left my pagan group, and it was no hate words at all between him and I. It was a very respectful conversation between the two of us. But he said, when I open up my Christian group, I would really like you to join in and teach others. And so I very kindly told him, if they want to learn from me, then they can come to my group. I am not going to walk into a Christian-based group that you created and tell your Christian members that they have to cater to me. It's not fair. It's not right. You, as a Christian man, has the right to have your own place of worship and teaching of what your religion is. And your followers have the right to have that space of learning of worship without persecution. Therefore, I have that same right. I respect you for deciding not to be in my group because I'm a different religion, and that's cool. I appreciate that you stopped in and learned a little bit from us. I appreciate that we're having this conversation and we're not hating on one another. We're being respectful. At the end of the conversation, after I explained myself about his place of worship and learning and my place of learning, then it's like, cool, that works. Have a blessed day. I wish you all the best on your journey. And that was it. There was no name calling. There was no hating. There was no, nothing ugly at all was said to one another. In that moment was a perfect example of coexist. We showed absolute respect for each other's separate religion, but then he went this way to teach, I went this way to teach. Neither one of us accusing the other of being wrong, neither one of us trying to convert the other. We were respectful to one another. That is how you coexist. Coexisting is respect. The other side of it, if I didn't explain this already, is the intertwining. The Christian witches or Christo-pagan. I hate to be the one to say that any religion is wrong, because religion is religion, but Christian is on this side, pagan is on this side. You literally cannot put the two of them together. If you know anything at all about Christianity, then you understand that you cannot. You cannot. The word pagan itself originated as a word of racism, of hate, of ugly. All right? And when this Christian conversion had taken place, they would use that word in a word of hate. Oh, you're a pagan, you're a pagan. And it was meant to be ugly. All right? Because they did not follow in the teachings of Christianity. Those that did not follow the teachings of Christianity were killed. And there's many, many wars in religious wars on it. That does not mean the pagans were innocent. Not at all. The pagans had just as much to say and do about their fighting for their religion, and they sure did. Okay? Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, Christo-pagan. That's a no-do. No can do. No can do. It's, you just can't. You can't turn salt into pepper. You can't turn pepper into salt. All right? Salt is salt. Pepper is pepper. Christianity is Christianity. Paganism is paganism. You just can't put the two together. Okay? That is two separate religions. However, you can respect one another. In my household alone, I am pagan. My husband is pagan. I have 4 children. Of my 4 children, 2 are pagan, 1 is agnostic, and 1 is Christian. Okay? I mean, that's my household. We can sit down, we can have dinner together, and nobody's fussing at one another about who's right, who's wrong, or otherwise. We're family. But we are following what's in our hearts, what we feel is true as individuals, and then we get together as family and we coexist. That's what coexisting is. It's not making my son practice paganism. He's Christian. And it's not me practicing Christianity. I'm pagan. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. To coexist is to live in the world together without hating on one another, without religious racism, and to be respectful of one another. Not to intertwine religions, but to be respectful of one another. Okay. I think I covered everything tonight. If there's any comments or questions or anything you want to talk about it, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I answer all comments. And I think that's it. Good night, guys. I love you. Thank you for coming in tonight. Mwah. Please like and share the video.